My name is Iraoya. I'm a research associate at the Center for the Study of the Economies of Africa, where we do evidence-based research to inform policies. Among the many research that we do is the economics of tobacco control, which I have particularly had a very good role at. And within that research, we've done quite a number of analysis that has been able to pinpoint to the need to strengthen tobacco tax system, for instance, in Nigeria, and also to improve the well-being of every Nigerian through more effective tobacco control. Particularly for this year, the theme for the World No Tobacco Day is "We need food and not tobacco." Why Nigerians need food and not tobacco? Nigeria basically has been exposed to tobacco farming over several decades. And if you look at Nigeria within the tobacco production space, you discover that, for instance, the British American Tobacco Production Company is basically located in Nigeria, more specifically located in Oyo State, where they produce a whole lot of tobacco, both for the nation and neighboring countries. Having said that, you also discover that about 40% of Nigerians are food insecure, going through diverse measures of multidimensional poverty, and tobacco farming has basically contributed to escalating this problem. Why do Nigerians again need food and not tobacco? Number one, discover that tobacco farming does not benefit the farmers themselves that even farm this tobacco. For instance, you look at farmers in Cseaafrica and Abuja in Oyo State. One thing you discover is that many of these farmers are exposed, one, to the harmful and toxic chemicals that they use in producing this tobacco. And tobacco production for these farmers is such a way that now they have an arrangement with BAT, the British American Tobacco Company. They produce, the British American Tobacco Company supply the inputs, and then they are the one that determines when these final products are produced, how these products are, number one, grade, number two, how they are being priced. It's basically a monopoly market, meaning that the farmers has very little amount in play in determining what the actual profit they make from that tobacco. So the farmers go through a vicious cycle of poverty, their welfare is not improved, and you discover that tobacco farming also harms the nation, because tobacco farming basically does not benefit the nation. When tobacco are produced, you discover that there are so many health impacts that tobacco production or farming has on the society. A whole lot of Nigerians, both from direct smoking and secondhand smoking of tobacco, have been affected by various non-communicable diseases such as tuberculosis, such as cancer, such as other forms of diseases. And this has in a way been detrimental to the well-being of Nigeria. Also, you discover that tobacco farming is detrimental to the environment. For instance, when tobacco is produced with high toxic chemicals, they end up being washed into our waters, and even people that are not within the environment where these tobaccos are farmed end up being harmed by the activities of tobacco farming. So these are some of the reasons why Nigerians need to transition from tobacco farming to food production. Transitioning from tobacco farming to crop farming requires collaborative effort, but from both the state and the non-state actors, including, for instance, the academia and the researchers. For instance, as an organization, it's a research institute, we have been involved in doing quite a number of research as informed policies, for instance, in strengthening tobacco taxation, because when these tobacco firms are taxed in a way, it helps them to be accountable to the detrimental effect that their activities have on the environment and on Nigerians. Number two, you discover that even the farmers themselves also have a role to play in ensuring this transition. The farmers will be able to see for themselves that their welfare is no better off by remaining in the production of tobacco. You also need to understand the fact that switching from tobacco farming to crop production will go a long way in improving their welfare. Another thing that needs to be done is consistent advocacy by both the advocacy group and the CSOs that are in the front line of ensuring that, number one, government are informed that the tactics of the tobacco industries, their activities are detrimental to the food security drive of the government, because you can't say that we want to achieve food security And on one hand, we are giving precedence to the activities of the tobacco industries that are detrimental to the well-being of Nigeria. So in a nutshell, Nigerian government needs to champion collective policies that ensures that everyone is brought on board to support the transitioning of farmers to producing more food, and by ensuring that everyone is carried along. There are several policy measures and strategies that Nigeria can take to facilitate the transitioning of farmers from tobacco farming to food production. One, improvement in research, in investment in research and development. Many of the farmers really wish to switch from tobacco production to food production, but many are not informed about socioeconomic alternatives to tobacco farming. Many of them wish to diversify. There is not enough knowledge that they have gotten on how they can switch. For instance, in Kenya, some years ago, when tobacco farmers were able to make up their mind that enough of tobacco, let's switch to alternative crops. One crop they gave as an alternative to those farmers, which was facilitated by the World Food Program, WFP, is that those farmers had to switch from tobacco farming to the production of beans. And research from that switch made us to understand that averagely, a farmer earns about $285 more from an acre of bean that they were producing compared to when they were producing tobacco. So there needs to be an improvement in research and design. There also needs to be a support in terms of agricultural infrastructures and facilities that these farmers need to switch. For instance, these farmers need to be supported in terms of modern farming equipment such as irrigation system. They also need to be supported in terms of capacity building. They need to be exposed to modern equipment of farming and how best they can maximize this equipment to ensure that they produce maximally, and they are also able to access markets where they can sell this produce and also have a better welfare.
Hey there! Thank you for watching. To view the full version of this publication, check our website out at cseaafrica.org.